What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to go ahead and have a look at my man, General Franky V2. Really lucky to pull this guy on the 5 million red ticket in the treasure map. So that was pretty unexpected, considering it has been a very long time since I pulled a new ticket legend from a treasure map. So it was definitely a huge surprise, and really happy to actually pull this guy, because I think this character is going to be a really nice character moving forward. And in this video today, we're mainly going to be talking about this character and just give my opinions on him, just in a grander scale. Obviously, we talked about him when the data download hit, but I think a video like this gives him a little bit more of a spotlight just to talk about him. And the content that you're seeing here is probably the 3 most difficult GARP challenges. We've got Navy, Hody, and Worst Generation, of course, with 3 separate teams, not one team versus all, but 3 different types of teams, which you'll be seeing in this video today. But let's just talk about this guy. Of course, this character is pretty interesting in the fact that not only is it a Franky unit, but a lot of people don't know that it actually does include Chopper. So that actually is like a huge benefit to this unit, because he can get access to some of the key supports that Chopper has. As you guys would have just seen in the clip here, we're able to use the Legend Neko support attached to V2 Franky, which means that we can get rid of Bind and attack down, and basically any Chopper support we can use on this guy, which is just massive, because Franky by himself doesn't have amazing supports. So it is nice that that is the case. But of course, the main problem with a lot of other Straw Hat legends is that they really like to compete with each other, because the Straw Hats have some pretty amazing characters in the game. Obviously, the flagship character being Luffy and the Straw Hats character is probably the best unit in the game at this point still. And, you know, this character will compete with a lot of those other characters that come out, right? So that's a huge detriment to the unit, but it is nice because this character has some really unique effects that really mean that you can use him in different situations, where some of the other Straw Hat legends that come out, you may not want to use them because there's other characters that are just better. But the thing about Franky is he has some really unique effects. The best part of the unit, in my opinion, is the captain ability, because the captain ability has inbuilt utility, and I absolutely adore inbuilt utility captain effects. Now, the thing is that he has 2 different effects going on. So the Psy character, when you have him up, reduces 10 turns of attack down that's inflicted to your team, whereas the Dex variation of the character resists 10 turns of burn. So that's pretty cool. There haven't been any characters in the game as a captain that have been able to reduce attack down or burn, so this is extremely unique. And the good thing about him is that he is a rainbow captain. In his single form, he's a 3.75 captain, and depending on which color character you have out at the time, you'll get like an additional buff. So if it's the Psy version, he gives a 1.25 times attack boost to fighter, shooter, slasher, and striker characters, whereas the Dex variation provides a 1.3 color affinity boost to fighter, free spirit, cerebral, powerhouse, and driven characters. So you really have to try and build your team in a certain way to ensure that you have, you know, the most applicable buffs active. And honestly, I feel like the Psy variation is just better. I feel like having the base attack boost is just way more powerful rather than having the affinity boost, because while the infinity boost is a 1.3 versus the attack boost, which is a 1.25, you only get that boost if you're attacking with type advantage. In a lot of cases, you're going to be doing more damage than you need to anyway. So the Psy variation captain is better for sure, but depending on the situation, right? Because the Psy variation captain is a fighter captain, whereas the Dex variation is a shooter. So again, it really does come down to team composition, but luckily in their dual form, you get all of the attack, all of the affinity, and you get both utility effects. So the dual captain of this unit on paper is freaking incredible. Another component of this unit that's also incredible is the special ability. It is just so monumental, and it's going to be so good on so many different teams, as it does a 30% health recovery, it removes poison, which in turn also removes poison slots, but also boosts the attack of fighter, slasher, shooter, and strikers by 2.5 for 1 turn, and then provides an orb boost to free spirit, cerebral, powerhouse, and driven for 2.5 times for 1 turn. So that's wicked, right? The fact that this unit by himself can provide a 2.5 attack and orb boost to characters if you have the team built in a specific manner. And the thing is that he is a free spirit character at heart as well. All forms of this character, no matter Dex, Psy, or Dual, he's a free spirit unit, which means if you use the character like V2 Odin, for example, you're able to use his special, which can provide a color affinity boost, and then you use the special of Franky, which can just get the buffed version via V2 Odin's new effect. So you can have a 2.5 color affinity boost with Odin, and then you can have a, you know, a 2.75 times attack and orb boost with the Franky character. So So that's a really nice piece of synergy there. I mean, just in turn, you could also use characters like Toki just for the hell of it, just so you can get those buffs as well, because Toki is also a free spirit slasher. Great synergy with the rest of the characters here. Bon Clay as well is going to be really nice with this unit. Like, this character is going to be a really nice addition to those really powerful free spirit units that we already have. So I think, you know, moving into this Kizuna season, it's going to be interesting to see what the team builds are going to be like, because I do think that this character Franky is going to partner up very well with some of the characters that we already have, just to add an additional layer of utility. It's going to be a really nice piece. Unfortunately, one piece of this character's kit that I think is a little bit much to be desired is the swap effect. Now, the base swap is just a matching slot and completely removing despair on himself, and a 1.5 times color affinity to your crew, but it also gives you a 25% damage taken recovery boost whenever you move to the next stage. So if you take, you know, 1000 damage, you're going to recover 250 HP when you move into the next room. It's an okay effect. You know, we've seen it on a couple of characters in the past, like Sanji Pudding, and I think Basil Hawkins had an effect like that, and V2 Katakuri. It's interesting, but it's not, like, amazing. It's not really amazing for this character, you know. And then you look at their super swap, which does require 4 swaps in order to get it, and the only real difference is that instead of healing for 25%, you heal for 50% instead, and the color affinity is buffed from a 1.5 to 2 times. So realistically, you can have this character by himself be a 2 times color affinity booster with a 2.5 attack boost and a 2.5 times orb boost. And then you've got utility in his captain effect. So really, this is like a one-man wrecking machine. Though the swap effect isn't really amazing, because, you know, I still want to rely on other swap effects, like obviously Roger Newgate is phenomenal, but other characters such as, you know, Shank's crew, just characters that can provide swaps every single turn that grant a really nice buff. This character is like in the middle of, like, a color affinity buff is like one of the worst buffs you could really provide, because it's just a little bit situational, and like the utility that this character provides is also pretty bad. So realistically, you're probably only swapping just to get the differing captain effects for the utility in certain situations, or you're switching to get a matching slot. In a lot of cases, that's probably what you're switching for, or if you're in a stage where you have, you know, the right type advantage, you could also switch to get some color affinity there. But obviously in Garb challenges, it is a little bit situational once again, because we are building for one color, which means that, you know, a color affinity boost for one colored team doesn't really help you that much. But if you do have like a multi-dimensional team that has a lot of different types, having an effect to get a color affinity boost is actually pretty good, because you're able to build your team in such a way that you are just straight up countering the content that you're building for. So, you know, if you're up against, you know, an int boss, you just build a full side team, and a lot of the mobs on an int boss are going to have int typing, so you'll be able to get color affinity boost, which is going to help you a lot against that in that situation. So, you know, you take the good with the bad, but honestly, in a lot of situations, I don't really see this to be like the most amazing switch effect. There's definitely better ones out there, that is for damn sure, but that is a very, very minor gripe, a huge nitpick, considering the rest of the character's kit with their captain and special is absolutely awesome. So Franky himself is a really good unit, but he is nowhere near as good as some of the top 5 legends that I personally believe in the game. He's not that end-all be-all unit. He's not the unit that's going to be clearing every piece of content in the game, though he definitely could do that in a hybrid scenario. But personally speaking, this is not a character I'm going to use a crazy amount. This is a character that's going to be really nice to use in certain situations if you have to get around a certain amount of turns of burn or attack down, and it's just easier to use a hybrid scenario in this case, because, you know, you can build a whole team however you want and chuck Franky as your friend captain, and in a lot of cases it's going to work pretty well, because Franky is a rainbow captain. His special ability is somewhat rainbows. You know, if you're building a team for his special in mind, you can really get some cool stuff done with this character. So I think this character is going to be a great asset to a lot of people's accounts. And, you know, realistically, if you don't pull him, it's not the end of the world, because you can just definitely use him as a hybrid option. And I think in a lot of cases, that's going to be the best way forward, especially if you want to use some of your other, you know, Straw Hat based characters. If you want to use your own Chopper or your own Franky character on your team, then you can just use this character as a friend captain, build your team how you like, and still get through content, you know, in the way that you want to get through it. So this is a really nice, interesting designed character, and it's a really nice character they're releasing right now. Hopefully he's going to be available in the anniversary Sugo Fest come May 12, 2022, because I think a lot of people would love to get their hands on this unit. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
俺に質問する。